There he's.
Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This is That Thing of Ours. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this Wednesday, 9th of October, 2024. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
and if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're over on Facebook, they have like 5 choices.
Clickety, clickety.
Clickety, clickety. The heart's my favorite.
She likes the hearts. Surprise.
Surprise.
Anyways, hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. I already heard that Mike's having a great Wednesday today. So yeah, things are looking up in some areas. Hey, it's been looking like basura kind of in other places. Whatever. Anyways, so what do we got going on, Kay?
Well, we got F. Clint in the house.
Yo, what's up, F. Clint?
Got Brother Bill in the house.
Brother
We've
Bill.
been missing him.
Yeah.
Got Chachi in the house.
Hey, Chachi.
Got Aaron in the house.
Hey, Aaron, what's going on, man? Working and lurking.
Working and lurking. Got Mike in the house, and he
Got
has
Mike.
power.
Day 13, and we just got power. A hot shower is going to be it's going to be a great night. I bet it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, daughter lost power about 3-4 hours ago, and then just got off the phone with Nick, the guy that used to be on the show way back when, and he just lost power 15 minutes ago.
Yep.
So yeah.
Got Colleen in the house.
Hey, Colleen, what's going on?
So
yeah, power's going out. We got friends in Sarasota, which is supposed to be taking a direct hit. Already got a report that it's getting hurricane force winds.
Yeah.
These
Got
weather
friends in
weapons, I'll tell you what.
Tampa.
Yeah, got friends in Tampa. We got,
Yeah.
Florida's a big deal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just praying.
Yeah, praying.
Just
That's what we got right now.
Yep. We got Sheriff Hector over on Pills.
Hey, Sheriff, how you doing? Thanks for joining.
So, you want to go ahead and get started?
Is Lightspear not over there?
Not yet.
What?
I know. Oh, there's Wendy.
Hey, Wendy. There you are.
How you doing, Wendy?
How you doing, Wendy?
How's your weather?
We'll get
She's
warming dinner. Okay.
Okay.
Is that over a fire?
Yeah. Do you have power?
Whew. Yeah, we'll let y'all know some of the reports about what's going on with the weather, as we find stuff out. Obviously, there's nothing anybody can do about it now. The important parts are going to be what happens after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. The rain has begun.
No.
All right, Wendy. Well, stay dry.
Yes. Stay in the house.
Stay in the house.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read that.
All right. Let's see. Elon Musk to Tucker. The purpose of no voter ID is obviously to conduct fraud in elections.
Ready?
I mean, that's kind of, obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this.
And the same people that demanded vaccine IDs for if you want to travel or do anything are the same ones who say no voter ID is required.
Is there any reason
Obviously hypocritical.
to pass a law like that except to abet voter fraud?
It's so that fraud cannot be proven. So it enables large scale fraud and no way to prove it, because how would you prove it? It's literally impossible. No ID. You're not even allowed to show your ID. It's insane.
Well, it is insane.
Insane. So, yeah. The purpose of no voter ID is obviously to conduct fraud in elections. Obviously.
There can be no other explanation.
I mean, they come up with some nice sounding thing.
People don't have IDs. Could you live in this country without an ID?
Yeah, I mean, their common rebuttal is like it's racist to require ID, and which is insane. I think it's actually racist and patronizing to say that people can't figure out how to get ID. Obviously,
But how could you live here without an ID? I don't think it's even possible.
Can't.
Yeah,
You can't do anything.
yeah.
You need ID for everything. Like the list of the things you need ID for is basically everything, except voting.
Thoughts?
The no voter ID is, I mean, it is a ridiculous thing, and I've even asked because it makes absolutely.
What can you do in this country without an ID?
Well, you can't buy cigarettes, can't buy alcohol,
Can't rent a car, can't rent a hotel room, can't fly,
can't buy a house.
can't buy a house, can't write a check, can't go to the bank.
Yeah, pretty much. And I've said it on more than one occasion. This picture's from when the Iraqis voted. You know what? Okay, fine. No IDs. People can't get their IDs. I know you got everybody's fingerprint and this indelible ink that doesn't go away that they used over there, for a good couple of days. What? I mean, what's wrong with that? You are guaranteeing, you are saying who you are. And that's a surefire way to ensure that people only vote once, because you can't wash it off. It's like, we know how to make secure elections. We've just chosen not to do it. And that's the pitiful part. I have no idea why. Well, actually, I do have an idea why. And it's exactly what Elon Musk was talking about.
Colleen's right, too. Can't even pick up a package at Walmart.
There you go.
Can't rent a movie. I mean, all the things you can't do without an ID.
Yeah. So how on earth... could it be anything other than to encourage the theft of an election? These are things that most certainly need to change.
Yeah.
Most certainly need to change. But I believe that we are, like, if Elon Musk is talking about it, this is part of the push that's going to happen after the election. This is setting people up. This is that predictive programming, if you will, where they start talking about this stuff before the election. People already know that the elections aren't secure. So it's going to be very important to a lot of people, especially President Trump, after this election is over and he's taken office, that we secure the elections for real. And that's going to be important because people really don't have faith and confidence in the elections as overall in the nation. Individual localities, maybe, clean as a whistle. And I agree. There are many, many, many places in this nation where you can trust the vote. But there's also enough places to really throw things out of whack and keep us from feeling as though we have a safe and secure election.
Exactly. You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read that.
As soon as there we go. Elon Musk blows the lid off Democrats' illegal alien invasion scheme.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to hear his take on it.
So, but back to the original question, about the potential consequences if, having gone all in, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to have thought about this long and hard before you did it. What was your thinking?
I mean, yeah. So I mean, my view is that if Trump doesn't win this election, it's the last election we're going to have. That the Democrats, the Dem machine, has been importing so many people, bringing in so many illegals, flying in with this like CBP border app thing that nobody even knew about, like secret program. That's illegal, basically. It's illegal, but there's no action by DOJ to actually to stop it from happening. They're transporting large numbers of illegals to swing states. If you look at the numbers, these are the numbers from the government website. So like from the Democrat-administered government websites. Like, where do you get this data? From the government website that is run by Democrats. And there are triple-digit increases in illegals to all the swing states. And in some cases, it's like 700% over the last 3 years. Now, these swing state margins are, sometimes 10, 20,000 votes. So what happens if you put, hundreds of thousands of people into each swing state? And when somebody is granted asylum, they are fast tracked. They can get a green card, and then 5 years after the green card, they can get citizenship and they can fully legally vote. And when they do so, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. And sometimes I get this rebuttal of like, well, a lot of them, their social values don't align with sort of the far left sort of woke ideology. Yeah. I said that's true, but that's not their top priority. Their top priority is getting their friends and family also to the United States. And the Dems also issue all these programs, these sort of handouts, essentially, that make them beholden to the Democratic Party. So they vote Dem. That's what happens. So my prediction is if there's another 4 years of a Dem administration, they will legalize so many illegals that are there that the next election, there won't be any swing states. And we'll be a single party country, just like California is a single party state. It's a supermajority Dem state in California.
Because of immigration.
Yes. California was fairly reliably Republican.
Bill Clinton lost California in '92 and won West Virginia.
Yes. So there was a 1986 amnesty.
Yes.
Thereafter, California trended very strongly Dem, and is at this point, I think 65-70% Dem, something like that. It's supermajority Dem. The California legislature is more than 2/3 Democrat.
Has it improved the state?
No, it's not. And California just passed, which is shocking. It's hard to believe this is even real, but California just passed a law making it illegal to require voter ID in any election at all in California. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Newsom signed it into law last week.
It's illegal to require an ID
in any election, even a town council. And a friend of mine who lives in Palo Alto was like, is this actually real? And he went to like vote in like some city council election. He tried to show them his ID, and they said, "We're not even allowed to look at your ID."
Have they extended this same?
Actually, what's going on right now? But by the way, they're proud of it. They're not hiding it.
But it's only voting. It's not buying a gun or buying liquor or buying a pack of cigarettes or flying on an airplane or renting a hotel room. It's only voting that it's illegal.
Oh, if you try to buy a gun, I mean, they're going to ID you 6 ways a Sunday. Yeah, they try. California's trying to make it basically illegal to own a gun.
Thoughts. Well, I mean, we know that this has been happening here in Nevada for a long time, where they're not even allowed to look at your ID. I know this because how many years ago was it? It's like, here's my ID. We're not even allowed to look at that. How are you supposed to know who I am? Yeah,
But
it did change. It did change, and so this is something that's been done before, and it's worked magical things. I mean, after all, Harry Reid was able to be the Senate Majority Leader probably because of that very vote buying scheme that they've been using. And really, in the end, that's what it is. It's a vote buying scheme, especially the way Elon Musk laid it out. You have a group of people whom they are pandering to by saying, we're going to make it easier to do the things that you want to do. So therefore, you should vote for us. And it's not like they're doing anything that's in the benefit of everybody else. They're doing it for this very selected group of people, which is kind of counter to all of our, anti-discrimination laws. But, hey, you do what you got to do. That's what they're doing, right? And so if they're buying all of these votes, then these votes which they are buying are going to bring in more votes for them. It's really not, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the scheme that they're pulling here. And so these people that shouldn't even be here legally are having a say in what happens in our world. And then people are surprised that the money that has been going to FEMA isn't going to the people of this country during our most needed moments, yet it's going to these other invaders that are coming here that they're going to give a chance to vote because what? They don't need to have an ID to go vote. How ridiculous is that? So yeah, this is like Elon's been saying, and so many people have been saying, if Trump doesn't win this time, it's the last election, last real election. I mean, they'll have elections. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there'll still be elections. Yeah, y'all didn't catch your air quotes. Elections.
I'm sure they heard it in my voice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, that's why it's imperative for everybody to get out. And fortunately, the Democrats are doing a great job turning more and more people into Trump voters every single day.
They are. You ready?
Yeah.
And go ahead and read that.
Elon Musk can't stop laughing with joy about being all in, baby, for Trump.
Ready?
Yeah.
The remarks I made there were impromptu. There was no teleprompter or anything. I was speaking extemporaneously.
Are you the only rich guy who doesn't have like a media consultant?
No, media consultant.
Yeah, no, I've noticed.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I just thought about what I want to say, and I just spoke off the cuff. No teleprompter, nothing.
Good for you.
Yeah, I can talk. Just look like now. I'm just talking. Look at me. Wow, amazing. Can you believe it? I can talk without a teleprompter. That's crazy.
But if he loses, it's going to be hard for you to pretend you never supported him.
All in. In the deep end.
Yeah, no, you are definitely in the deep end. You cannot touch bottom.
No, I'm like rolling around. I'm like a pig in mud. I'm like, it's all in, baby.
Is it fun?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
How hard?
I mean, there may be some in the hopefully unlikely event that he loses. There may be some vengeance on me.
Were you kidding?
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. You've got to be one of the biggest government contractors.
We do essential work for the government.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not like, we do useful essential work,
right?
That we compete for and win contracts on because our product is much better and costs less.
Thoughts?
I think the dude genuinely loves Trump. And I think he, with his whole freedom of speech thing that is the banner that he is carrying, right? I believe that, of course, he's going to side with President Trump. Let's negate all of the censorship and anti-American, anti-First, Amendment kind of things that the agents within the government have been attacking us with. The guy honestly believes in that, and so if you hold firm to a value within our Bill of Rights and Constitution. See, they always talk about how the Democrat Party was a big tent kind of party, right? But see, the thing is that the big tent is the Constitution and the amendments. That is the big tent. That is what America is. So how the Democrats managed to make it seem like that, well, okay, with MK Ultra, all of it makes sense, right? But how they managed to capture that from the American people is really a true feat of what? Propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so they have managed to not only break up the family units, but they've also made people forget what the Constitution is and the protections it provides for each and every one of us. And so by people going back to the founding principles and rallying around our rights, our God-given rights, it makes it much easier for people to say, you know what, I can support this. Yes, there may be some butt hurt because people say mean things, but so long as nobody's getting physically injured from these mean things that are being said, the speech should be free. I tried to mesh all that up together there, but anyway, it's these principles are the principles that we can all get behind. And yes, Elon may not do things the way a lot of other people would, but that's one of the reasons why we need free speech. People need to be able to speak freely so that way we can get the best and the brightest to actually get somewhere, and that way they can make some kind of a difference, as opposed to this closed down world where they get to pick and choose who they like because they agree with their groupthink. Prevents other people like Elon Musk from making it to where they could have otherwise.
Yeah.
Chachi says, truth always comes to light. Exactly, Chachi.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Hope.
Hey, Hope. Thanks for joining us, ladies.
You ready?
Yes.
Want to read that real quick?
Yes. North Carolina mayor's daughter applied for Kamala's $750 FEMA payment and was denied.
Ready?
Yeah.
Literally, what is FEMA? So my daughter, whose house got completely wiped out, she has no flood insurance, meets with a FEMA person, applies for everything. Doesn't get the $750 that Kamala says that she's supposed to get, gets approved for $300 for personal items. What is that going to do? That's literally what she got. Her entire first floor is wiped out. We hauled everything off. It's gone. So what is FEMA? And being a mayor,
so they didn't even give her the full $750.
they didn't even give her $750. Denied the $750.
They gave her $300.
They gave her $300. That wouldn't even cover what's in the refrigerator.
Thoughts?
How many shelves in the refrigerator would $300 actually cover?
Not that many.
And then considering that it's a disaster zone and the government agents are going out of their way to prevent supplies from getting in, therefore driving up the price even more. Yeah. What's $300 actually going to do? Absolutely amazing. But this is, again, we are now, there is no like ambiguity anymore. We all know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the government is not here for us. Who can say that the government is here for any of us at this point in time? And the people that are coming here illegally, do they really think that these people that don't care about the people who are originally here, you think that they're going to care about you more other than to get the votes to get rid of us? Just food for thought.
Food for that. Yep.
So, yeah, take your $300 and stick it where the sun don't shine.
Exactly. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Want to go ahead and read that?
Yes. Directly from NOAA's website, 70th anniversary cloud seeding Hurricane King, quote, Project Cirrus.
Ready?
Yes.
Documented historical operation. At the time this article was written, it was the 70th anniversary. On the afternoon of October 13th, 1947, an Air Force B-17 aircraft penetrated a hurricane 415 miles east of Jacksonville and dumped several pounds of crushed dry ice into the storm, just to see what would happen. Previous year, Vincent Schaefer, working at GE Laboratories, discovered that by introducing dry ice into an environment with supercooled water, well, he could induce the water to freeze into ice. And then the realization came that this could spur reactions that would alter clouds and precipitation. Following this, an agreement was made with the Naval Research Laboratory and the Army Signal Corps to carry out experiments where Air Force aircraft would seed clouds and fog with dry ice to see what changes occurred. It wasn't long before plans were made to try a seeding experiment in a hurricane. Okay, now let's go back to October of 1947. The hurricane hitting Florida had moved off the coast and continued out to sea. Two B-17s had left Mobile, Alabama, and flew east to intercept the hurricane. The first bomber flew at cloud top level and did the seeding. Large chunks of dry ice were fed into a crusher on the plane, and they were dumped from the belly of the plane into the clouds below. Second B-17 followed a half mile behind and documented the changes. On side note, the aircraft lacked the sophisticated homing gear necessary in order to penetrate the eye or heavy rain bands, so they stuck to just seeding the outer clouds. Imagine that. See, now here's where things get interesting. They first made a run over 100 miles, dumping only 80 pounds of ice along the way. Next, there were two additional runs, dropping 50 pounds each into one large cloud formation at the top. Now, they noticed after the first run that the cloud deck below began to break up. But after the second test, the cloud top continued to grow. So the following day, the scientists went out to see the result of the previous day's experiment. But the hurricane wasn't where they expected it to be. It was nearly 100 miles west of the projected track. The hurricane had made a 135-degree left turn and was now moving due west. And on top of that, it was strengthening. By the afternoon of the 15th, Hurricane King struck Savannah, Georgia. One person lost their life, and the storm surge cost Georgia and South Carolina $2 million in damage. As you can imagine, there was a massive amount of public outrage, threats of lawsuits, especially when the head of GE Labs, Dr. Irving Langmuir, issued a statement that he was 99% sure that the storm had changed course due to the seeding. But the case was dropped when the chief of the Weather Bureau, Dr. Francis Rackenflegger, thought differently and found a case where a hurricane had followed a similar track but had not been seeded. The case was published and the threats of lawsuits eventually just went away. It would be some time again before governmental agencies would dare this type of endeavor after what had happened. Not long though. 15 years later, 1962, the U.S. Weather Bureau and the Department of Defense, they reached a formal agreement to carry out and attempted to seed hurricanes again. Now, could you just imagine 1947?
Thoughts?
I'm trying to look up Project Storm Fury. All right, that's interesting. That's a new rabbit hole for me. I'm gonna have to check that one out. And we've been talking about the fact that they've been doing the weather manipulation and modification. The only thing that's happening now that's different than from before is one, the government's actually talking about it. Two, the government has actually said that they believe that there's elements within the DoD and NOAA, which he was just connecting those dots there for everybody, that they are still doing weather modification, even though they had stopped before. I have no idea. I mean, I can understand a military need to jack with the weather, right? It can change all sorts of things. What happens to 70-ton tanks in a mud? What happens to an airborne drop if there's a sudden storm and the planes can't safely drop over a zone and with any kind of reliability leave all those airborne soldiers in the spot that they were supposed to be. So being able to control the weather has tremendous aspects. It's even spoken of in the Bible about how the weather had changed, what was happening with the wars that were going on. So controlling the weather isn't a surprise that the government would want to be able to do that. What is sad that we all recognize now is that it looks like that they've been using that intelligence that they gathered against the very people that have been paying for them to be able to do those experiments. The government needs to have a much smaller budget. They clearly have too much money that we can't even comprehend how much money they spend because there's so much of it. We recognize that the government is irresponsible and has no need for a budget anywhere close to what they have because they end up using it against us. Brother Bill says, I've said it many times, so one more won't hurt. The whole disease, corrupt satanic temple must be brought down all around the demon's ears. Well said, sir.
Yep.
Well said. Yeah, exactly, Wendy. Who's crazy now, bitches?
You ready?
Yeah.
Jesus is not a trinket that you just pull out of your pocket when you need him. He's not a genie in a bottle that you go to when you want something. He wants a relationship. He expects a relationship. Talk with Jesus. Walk with Jesus all the time, every single day. The Bible says that we're supposed to pray continually. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says, pray without ceasing. If we're going to pray without ceasing, we've got to trust that God listens to us and that he responds. That's why a relationship is so important. When people think of prayer, a lot of times they think that it has to be a certain way or in a certain place, specific words, but it doesn't. It's a conversation with your God. Heck, I'm sitting here right now thinking in the back of my mind while I'm making this video, asking God, praying to God, saying, man, I hope you get this message out to whoever needs to hear these words. Y'all got an internal monologue, right? He hears our thoughts. God listens. He talks. Prayer opens that line of communication. Seek him with an honest heart, and he'll always reveal himself.
Thoughts?
We talk about it a lot. That relationship is something that has to be nurtured continuously. It's just like a relationship with the spouse, right? After all, we're his bride, are we not? Isn't that what it says?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, we need to make sure that we're opening that line of communication. And that line of communication, it may not be something that we readily understand, but at least we're talking, and we should be trying to listen too. How do you listen? By trying to quiet everything down to hear that quiet voice. That quiet voice is the one that makes all the difference, and it helps us in these difficult and trying times.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure, it, like he said, and while he was doing that video, you have that line of communication open. You have that little prayer going on in the back of your head. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's trying to make sure that you are keeping that line of communication open. Wendy says, my ex used to say I needed a radio show where I just ranted. He even had a name for the show. Ranting, Raving Wendy. People think I'm hilarious when I'm mad. Drives me nuts. You're so cute when you're mad.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sassy's going to talk about Kamala being on with Stephen Colbert. Ready?
Yes.
If Kamala Harris throwing back beers with Stephen Colbert like she's the great value Stone Cold Steve Austin, that didn't piss you off. Something wrong with you. This picture speaks 1,000 words. This probably pisses me off worse than anything she's ever done. A fifth of this country has been devastated the last couple weeks. This is your commander-in-chief laughing and tee-heeing. And she wants to run her mouth about DeSantis? Some kind of Barbie doll bullshit about a phone call? Throwing back beers like she's at a NASCAR race? He's on the ground working his ass off. What message does this send? Nothing if you a damn dumbass Democrat. What the people preparing for Milton? What the people recovering from Helene? Imagine they get internet, first thing they see. Some of these people lost everything. Some of them will lose everything. Interstates packed of people trying to evacuate. Tornadoes dropping everywhere. Dr. Phil has been boots on the ground the entire time. Tons of people have in their part. And Kamala's cackling like a hyena back in beard, scared to death that she ain't getting enough publicity. Guess bad publicity is still publicity for you, isn't it, Kiki? This does not make you relatable. This makes you hot trash. And before you come at me about Donald Trump, he's campaigning, he's doing these things too. Donald Trump is not the fucking vice president right now. You understand? He is a candidate, and he has done more for the victims that survived Helene than this fucking administration. As a candidate, this lady makes my blood fucking boil. She is a disgrace to this country and the people in it. I will say it here and I will say it now. You have your right to vote for who you want to vote for. Thank the troops for that. But no Harris Walls voter will I ever let back in my life. Will I ever give tolerance to? Will I ever give acceptance to? You're fucking dead to me. Don't come on my page. Don't try to talk to me. I want nothing to do with you. And don't cry for the victims. Save your performative tears if you vote for this shit. End of story.
Thoughts?
More people are wanting to cut those ties again, cut those ties back. We've tried to communicate. You've wanted nothing to do with it, and you see how these people act, and you still think that they're good and that we're evil. I don't know how. Just look at the performance of what's been going on. You have no basis in reality. I really don't even know what to say to you. We have no common ground with which we can talk about because it's not based in reality. Those people would be the people that would argue about the color of the sky, just because. So it's for everybody's own good to not have to have angry conversations with a whole bunch of people who don't give a shit about what you were going to say anyways, because when you do try to talk to them, they're not trying to have a conversation. They're just waiting to talk to refute you with all the points that you probably already showed were ignorant to begin with. Whatever. It's difficult. I'm not going to shut anybody out of my life, but I'm also not going to initiate anything either. If you want to initiate something, it's going to be on my terms. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that because you cut me out of your life years ago already. So now I'm waiting for you to come back because you said you didn't want me around. Well, I'm not going to chase you around. I got better shit to do with my time.
Exactly.
Chachi says, I bet Dr. Phil dropped some big dimes on Oprah and the like. Dude, you ain't just telling stories there. I agree with you 100%. I think that Dr. Phil, he's one of those names that we heard about consistently throughout all of this. Do I believe that he got wrapped up in some of it? Yeah. I think that he found himself in a bad situation. Probably got diddied, went to a party. Somebody had some oil that they put on him or something. He was down for the count. Next thing you know, they got some blackmail on him. So he figures, I'm trapped. What can I do? Well, here I am. May as well do something, do the best that I can with what I have where I'm at. But as soon as that opportunity came about, I have a feeling that Dr. Phil would have said, oh, these crazy sons of bitches. Let me tell you about that. Because really, where do you find those people? Well, it's, I think once you get your eyes open to something like that, then you find out that there are people who are fighting. It's probably just about trying to find a reason to reach out to them would be my guess. So, yeah.
You ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
The most important event in human history is the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Tiberius was the emperor of Rome when that happened. Pontius Pilate was the governor of Judea when that happened. But they were not the central characters of the story. Jesus was. So why on earth would we make politicians the central characters in our story today? And politics has consumed everything. Talk about it nonstop. Every aspect of life is politics, politics, politics. And the Bible's sitting there saying, politicians aren't the central characters, Jesus is. Sitting there waiting for you. That's where our hope is. So for me, it is a dark time. Feels like the end times. We better be living like it is because the Bible says no man knows the day or the hour that he's coming, but he's coming. So we should live like he's coming back today. But we have a hope in knowing that our God is still in control.
Thoughts?
Well said. I think we've pretty much said that different ways on this show many times, but how true is it? The most important thing that happened in all of humanity was the death and resurrection of Jesus, right?
Mhm.
So why would we worry about politicians? Even the emperor was worried about Jesus and his disciples. He was worried about them. They weren't worried about him, even though they knew that he had the power to end them, clearly.
Yes.
But at the same time, he was more concerned about them. So that says that concern challenges that kind of power. That's why the rock stars of the political world don't like to hear about God or Jesus because they can't be the main character. It's good idea to keep in mind who the main character is. And that's why this country's finally turning around is well, we remembered who the main character of this whole story called life is, and it's changing. But like he was also saying, we have to live our lives as if it is the end times because we desire to be saved and not have the repercussions for living with the flesh kind of thing, right? And so it's where was I going with this? It is key that this country is going back to Jesus as the main character, so that way our nation can be saved. Because there's been many times where in the past and written in the Bible where a country, a nation, a people, a whatever were given that opportunity between one side or the other. Fortunately, I'm going to say this country is starting to choose the side of God, and we might be spared.
Wow.
Hey, little Lunker, thanks for joining. Says, hello, everyone. Making hot wings and rice with ranch and a vegetable.
Sounds good.
Sounds
amazing.
Yeah, that does sound really good.
You ready?
Yeah.
So, Ant was on One American News.
Nice.
You ready?
Yeah.
Basically, right now, it's the calm before the storm, right? I mean, what is the warning from officials right now in your area?
They're saying that if you didn't leave, definitely take precautions. Tornadoes can spawn from this. We are definitely going to get the 100+ mile per hour winds. And it's literally just staying put. I mean, our houses are kind of built for it. We did lose portions of our roof during Hurricane Ian, which has since been repaired. As you can see behind me, a lot of us have these cages that cover our entire pool patio areas. That will likely no longer be here. We can always do an update later. That won't be here, but it's just stuff at the end of the day. As long as you have a generator, you're stocked up on water, you have food, you're going to hunker down. And, you know, when we get to the other side of it, I've already checked on our neighbors. Everyone is boarded up. So I think we'll be okay. It's something that you pray to God will make you through, and usually he delivers.
Thoughts?
Well, as we know, a lot of people are stressed out, but it seems like sufficient preparations have been made. Everybody that we are talking to that is weathering in, they have gone through this pretty much. Their houses are boarded up. The daughter, she already has rice cooked, so that way when power goes out, which it already has, she actually has some food that's cooked. That way she doesn't have to try to cook over like some kind of fire inside the living room or something.
Right.
So food is there, food is available, and then it's just a matter of waiting for the storm to pass on through, and then we pick up the pieces after it's, you know, all clear.
Yes.
Aaron says, hey, they said calm before the storm, Keck.
They did.
They did, and now we're in the storm. But kind of ironic that these storms are happening when there is the political storm that's going on as well.
Absolutely. You ready?
Yep.
Want to read that?
Nevada's voter rolls are corrupted and ripe for election fraud. What?
Ready?
No way.
I know.
Okay.
Addresses where people do not live, and mail ballots may be going to these addresses in the upcoming 2024 elections.
Is Kevin Plinzer here? In Nevada, by the state law, you're required to be registered where you actually live, where you sleep, not where you work, not at a P.O. box. So we're trying to get election officials to enforce the law. Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm looking for Michael Clark and Michael Woodford. Hi. Don't know. Okay, they don't live here. No one lives here. Okay, they're registered to vote here, and I'm just trying to make sure their ballot gets to the right place. So, but you don't know them.
This would be their mailing. If they use this would be their mailing address.
If you have a police, fire, or medical emergency, hang up and dial 911. Please listen carefully as our options have changed. To be connected to dispatch, please stay on the line.
This is Lauren. I'm just calling looking for Joseph Razzo, R-A-Z-O. If you could call me back, I'm just trying to figure out if he lives at this Washburn Police Department in North Vegas. Thank you. Bye. Hi, I'm looking for John O'Connor.
He's not in the office.
Does he live at this physical location?
No idea.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I was looking for Ronald or William Phelps. I don't know who that is. Okay, so they don't live here. At the bar? Yeah, no. Okay, this is the address we had for them, so I just wanted to make sure.
Oh God, yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't even recognize the name.
Some of the addresses on the voter roll here include 7-Elevens, strip clubs, vacant lots, Stephen Bronstein, bars, casinos. Look, Nevada election officials are clearly failing to investigate and fix errors relating to commercial addresses on the voter roll. And that's why we're drawing attention to this issue. So election officials will see this evidence that they can't refute and start to take action to fix and clean the voter roll. Hi, I'm looking for Simone Southwell.
Simone Southwell. Okay. What would that be for?
Does she live here? No, she doesn't live here. Does Earl Paul Jr. live here?
No, he does not anymore.
He does not anymore, so he did at some... Oh, okay, so he doesn't live here. Okay, thanks. We'll just take the milkshakes then. Hi, I'm looking for Christopher Karachi.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. He doesn't live here?
I don't think so.
Okay.
For your meeting or?
Yeah, he's registered to vote here, and we're just trying to make sure we send his ballot to the correct address.
Oh, I got
No idea. Never heard of him. Oh, all right. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm looking for William Sitton or Joseph Castellano. Do you guys know those?
William Sitton passed away last year. I know that for a fact. They're inmates, correct?
I have them listed that they live here, so.
Can I see it?
Yeah, these are the names: Joseph Castellano, William Sitton.
William Sitton, I know for a fact. He was an inmate here. He passed away.
I'm looking for William Bidlack.
No idea.
You don't know him? Okay, so he doesn't live here.
This is a casino.
The worst problem with Nevada's election is they automatically mail a ballot to every active registrant on the voter roll. And that is just the worst way to run an election. You have to have almost completely 100% accurate.
Thoughts about our wonderful state we live in?
How many ballots did we have sent to mail-in ballots did we have sent here? And how many to the previous address and the address before that?
so many.
Every year we get, ballots. It's like a normal occurrence out here. And I think it's absolutely hilarious that she was going there. I think the best thing about what she was doing, because all of us already know that it's not, legitimate that these people are living here. These are the things that they've been talking about at 2,000 Mules and all of the voter fraud stuff that's been going on that Mike Lindell was talking about. Shout out to Mike Lindell. Anyway, so it's not a surprise, but the good thing about this is how many of those people were surprised? Well, so-and-so doesn't live here? This is a casino. I know.
I know.
Yeah. And so that's that opportunity in which to talk to somebody about voter fraud and the reality of it. Because I guarantee you some of those people were like, what do you mean they're registered to vote here? They have never encountered that kind of a scenario before, so it didn't even register. So when they hear that voter fraud is just some vast right-wing conspiracy, those QAnons, they come up with all these crazy conspiracy theories, and these people are now confronted with, well, this person, here's their registration, and it says that they live here. Well, what do you mean they live here? Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Exactly.
So
It's opening people's eyes.
it is another way in which to open people's eyes. And that's exactly what I was trying to say. Thank God for my wife. Man, she's amazing.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Will you read that, please?
Is this video why there is a war against straight white men? Oh, Lord.
Ready?
Here we go. Yeah. Okay, it says, do you think there's a war on straight white men because they show us exactly why we don't need the government?
Thoughts?
It was mildly racist video, but that's fine. Regardless,
It's because white men are being
have been attacked.
right
Well,
now.
and this is something that I've been talking about forever. I mean, even when I was active duty, so back in the early aughts, I was pointing out about how all of the commercials always made the straight white male look like a buffoon. It's been going on like that forever and a day. It's nothing, it's like, if that's how y'all feel, fine. I have no desire to go eat your people burgers, right? It's who you are. But it's like, sadly, this is part of the conversation. We need to get over it. It's about people who just care about their community, people who care about their family and the community around them. It's not a color thing. It never should have been a color thing.
It's a human thing.
It's a human thing. We need to be humans, and to be humans with each other is we have to open our hearts to people, no matter how different they may look to us. It's such a childish perspective, if you think about it, to make a judgment based on that. When in all actuality, we've all been getting screwed, and we've all been getting screwed in so many different ways. And they made it so that way we fight with each other. But the good thing is that we are seeing these communities come together. And of course, they're going to come. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that there's probably a lot more white people in rural Appalachia than there are people of color. And so that might be the reason for the disparity in race. So, it's out there.
Exactly.
It should make sense.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Dementia Joe versus Kamala Chameleon in the battle for the Florida narrative.
Ready?
Yeah.
Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
The governor of Florida has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday, and I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it. And I literally gave him my personal phone number to call. So I don't know. There was a rough start in some places, but every governor from Florida to North Carolina has been fully cooperative and supportive and acknowledged what this team is doing. And they're doing an incredible job. But we got a lot more to do.
Thoughts?
I will say that is the most coherent and intelligent group of words that Kamala Harris has ever said. If she would only listen to them. It's like, yeah, you said all the right things. Congratulations. You did a great job. Now do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we know she's not going to, because that's not what she cares about. And then with Joe Biden, I mean, anything that guy says, it's not exactly coherent anymore. But it is funny that he managed to get through to Ron DeSantis.
I know, right?
So, whatever. Anyway.
Creep away, creep away.
Hey, Tracy. It's creeping. Forgot to log in.
Chachi says Biden has got to have been controlled since the beginning. This movie is getting real good.
This movie is getting real good.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
Kamala squirms when confronted over being installed as Democrat nominee.
Ready?
Yeah.
Was democracy best served by President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination? You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
President Biden made a decision that I think history is going to show is rare among leaders, which was to put country before self. And I am proud to have earned the support of the vast majority of delegates and to have been elected the Democratic nominee. I am proud to have received the endorsement of leaders around this country from every background and walk of life to fight in this election over the next month for our democracy.
But I think this truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Look, I've been in this race for 70 days.
Thoughts?
So she never has. I can't say never because she just had something intelligent to say before. She knows she's backed into a corner. She can't say anything. She can't talk her way out of it because she really just doesn't have that level of intelligence. She has to be given talking points to say, and even then, she's only okay at getting to them and through them. She definitely needs the teleprompter. I'm surprised how much he grilled her on 60 Minutes, uh, but she definitely got away with pretty much saying she doesn't have a clue as to what she's doing. She has avoided every important question that's been given to her. It's just who she is. How else can this? How could this be anything other than trying to wake the people up by having such an incapable human being in that place? How is this anything other than trying to wake people up or to rub it in our noses in it? Anyway, so it's hold on a second. Tracy says, I can't do this hurricane, election, inflation, diddler, Harris, wartime, dark by 5 p.m., pumpkin spice season. Can we skip right to New Year's? Yeah, this is where we learn long suffering. This is where we happen to, understand and have that faith. I get it. It is difficult. It is trying. It is challenging with everything that's going on. But that's because we've been asleep for so long. That's how we ended up getting a Kamala Harris. That's the Democratic nominee that can't even understand the fact that she wasn't really elected by anybody. That she was just installed kind of like Biden, kind of like a toilet. They've been installed. And she may or may not even know the difference because I don't think she may have gone to law school, but that doesn't mean that she knows anything about how things are supposed to run. So we have to go through all of this, and there's a lot of people who feel this way, and I know I get stressed out sometimes too with how everything is. I mean, there's a lot of people we know that are kind of under the thumb of this stupid hurricane right now that probably is a government experiment or an experiment by people from within the government. Right. And so what do we do? Can we, do we sit there? Do we stress about things? We know we shouldn't stress about anything. We know we need to not worry. We know we need to not fear. And this is what we need to get over. How do we not have fear? How do we not have worry? Because we put our faith in our creator, and that faith in our creator is exactly what makes it possible. That's the Holy Spirit filling us, letting us know that we can make it despite all of these people. It's also the same Holy Spirit that gets filled with, or that the people of the Appalachia that have been filled with all of these videos of all of the citizens helping each other out, because it's a fellow human being who is in a time of need. We have the strength, we have the capability, we have we have each other. That's what we're figuring out. And granted, if you're watching this, you probably already know that's all we got, but there's a lot of people who haven't figured it out yet. That's why we have these difficulties right now. That's why we have that entire list that you put out there, Tracy. It's the hurricane, the election, inflation, the diddler, Harris, the war, dark by 5 p.m., pumpkin spice season, all these things. Every one of those things is designed to help people that aren't awake yet to wake up. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But we got to go through it. And the reason why we've been awakened is so that we can help those people. As much as we don't want to talk to them, as much as we're not going to reach out to them, it's for their best interest. It's in their best interest to feel all alone for a little while.
Yeah.
And so by being alone for a little while, it will humble them enough to say, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need help. Please help. Well, first you got to ask God. And then you need to recognize that you really don't know as much as you think you do.
Absolutely.
And so, pick up a shovel and let's get to work, because we got shit to do, because we don't have time to sit around and wait for your almighty, agencies to come out here and help us, because they were never coming.
Exactly.
Welcome to the party.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
Yes. This 17-second clip of Kamala should be a Trump campaign ad everywhere.
Ready?
Yeah. Everything she says.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Thoughts?
What can I say?
I mean, she just admitted that she thinks it's great.
Yeah, I know. What can you say about that? That's a perfect follow-up to everything I just said.
I know.
We're all alone with each other. We stand alone together. It's confirmed. It's confirmed with every word that comes out of her mouth.
Yeah.
That they're not here for us. They're not here for you. They're not here for me, except to the fact that we're in their way, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, y'all are in our way, and I can assure you how that one's going to end up.
Yeah, exactly.
Not going to end up the way that your small group of elitist pricks think it's going to.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
God is saying to you today, you need to rise up. You need to step out of the shadows that have been weighing you down. My child, I embrace you with all my love, wrapping you in a warmth that dispels the coldness of despair and doubt. You are not defined by your struggles. Rather, you are defined by the strength that I place within you. I know the burdens you carry, the weight of your worries, and the fears that whisper to you in the quiet moments. But remember this, I am with you, always. When you feel like you're standing alone in a dark room, look for the light that I have placed in your heart. It is there, shining brightly, waiting for you to acknowledge it. You have the power to choose hope over hopelessness, joy over sorrow, and faith over fear. Take a moment to breathe deeply and feel my presence surrounding you. In your weakest moments, I am your strength. In your times of confusion, I am your clarity. I am here to remind you that every setback is merely a setup for a comeback. Trust in the journey I have laid out before you, even when the path seems uncertain or the obstacles seem insurmountable. You are not alone in this fight. I have equipped you with the tools you need to overcome any challenge that life throws your way. Each tear you have shed has not gone unnoticed. They are precious in my sight. Your pain is part of a greater story that I am writing in your life, one that is filled with hope and purpose. Allow my love to heal the wounds that have held you captive. You are worthy of my grace, and you are deserving of a life filled with abundance. Let go of the doubts that linger in your heart and allow the truth of who you are to flourish. You are a child of the Most High, created for greatness, destined for victory. As you rise up, remember to extend that same love and grace to yourself. Be gentle with your heart and mind, for you are on a journey of healing and transformation. Celebrate the small victories, for they are the stepping stones toward the greater blessings that await you. I am calling you to step forward with courage. Embrace each day as an opportunity to live fully and freely in my love. When you face the storms of life, stand tall, knowing that you are anchored in me. I am your rock, your refuge, and your strength. So take heart, my beloved. Let my love lift you higher, filling you with hope and resilience. You have a purpose that only you can fulfill, and I am here to guide you every step of the way. Trust in me, for I am working all things together for your good. In this moment, I invite you to declare with confidence, I am rising up. I am stepping into the light. I am embracing the love of my Heavenly Father. If you receive this message, take
Thoughts?
So a lot of message of hope there, and overcoming adversity, having that faith, and it's a great message, and it's a message that's certainly needed at this point in the world. It is a challenge, and they said specifically, you are defined by the strength given to you. And so we're given these strengths. We're given this understanding that so many people don't have. So that defines us. So how do we clarify that definition? We clarify that definition by utilizing the skills that each and every one of us have. Some of us make music, Bill, right? Some of us talk a lot. Hey. So, I mean, everybody has their own gifts, right? And we got to use those to the best of our ability. These strengths are what are going to help us persevere through this and help others persevere when they themselves thought that they did not have the strength with which to carry on. How many times have all of us felt like, I don't know if I can do this anymore? Go ahead.
Me,
Yeah,
I felt that way.
I know. It's like I'm sick and tired of this. This is ridiculous. But as we continue, as we press on through those challenges, what we recognize is that we have made it past each and every challenge that's challenged us up to this point. We have made it through. You have made it through 100% of everything that's come up against you to this point, and you're still here. So, what does that say? Means that you got some kind of value add to the world around you, or at least our creator seems to think so. So, what do? We keep on and we keep pressing our skills and we keep challenging ourselves to more efficiently utilize the skills that we all have uniquely to us. These are the things that make the changes to the world around us. I know that as you know, we've been doing this. We've seen some of y'all for a long time. We've seen all sorts of people grow. I know I've grown. I don't even know if I can bother watching any of the old stuff from when we first started because I know that I've changed tremendously. Yeah. I know Kay's changed tremendously. That's because we persist. We continue on. What are you going to do? Sit there while around? Oh, everything sucks. I'm just going to quit. Exactly. That sounds miserable.
Right.
Keep on keeping on, my friends.
That's all you can do.
Sure enough.
You ready?
Yep.
Want to read that, please?
Man known as Lieutenant Dan in Tampa Bay intends on staying on his boat during Milton landfall.
Ready?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Everybody's worried about you.
Who's worried about it?
It's all over TikTok.
Everybody, across the country.
I'm gonna go live in a minute.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be fine.
I don't think people realize you're so close to down. I mean, you could just get off if something bad happened. You know what I mean?
I'm not going anywhere because the safest place to be is on a boat in a flood. Okay, we learned that with Noah. Everybody that stayed on land drowned. Noah and the animals lived. So I'm fine.
Do you have any animals?
No, I wish I did.
Okay.
I could use 2 females.
Well, you got all the news crews right here during the storm, so you can just, if you need anything. Everybody's worried about you,
I know
buddy.
everybody's worried about me. Everybody wants me to get off the boat. People don't. Being that I'm tied up to the cleat on the dock there, and it's secured in the concrete, which is secured to all this thing, I have a secured anchor point. I'm tied to the boat. If the tide goes up, I go up. As long as the water stays out of the boat, I'll be fine. And the wind is, it's not a tornado. It's not going to get lifted up and thrown into Kansas. Okay, it's not like that. I'm not suicidal, but I'm putting it in God's hands and taking it out of mine and man's.
All right.
So I'm sitting tight. I'm going to play it out.
Well, like I said, we're all right up here. So if you need anything, everybody's parked right here, okay?
I love you all, and I thank you for the concern. But I'm not nutty. I'm just doing what my father told me to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm being me. I don't go with the grain. I'm against the grain because it's all just, you're all robots. You're all sheep following the masses. And I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that does what I feel is right. And I don't care what anybody says or wants to do about it. I do what I think is right. It's just, God found me 10 years ago when I found him. He's been my right hand all along. He told me to come here, I'm here. And I'm putting my life in his hands. I'm supposed to go home tonight. I'm going to go home tonight because he's calling me home for nothing to do.
Well, we'll check on you, okay? We'll be up here and we'll check on you.
I appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you, sir. Stay
Thank you.
safe. You got some time to rest. All right.
I only got about 2 hours sleep. Knocking on my window. Can I get a video? I get a video. No! Get the hell away from me.
Well, that's some real Florida going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
Mike hit the nail on the head. On a boat it is okay at sea. Of course, at a hurricane, it's a terrible idea. You know that a hurricane's coming. You go boat somewheres else. That's the beauty of a boat. But to stay moored to a dock is not necessarily the best idea, especially a giant concrete pier like he's moored to. It's just going to get beat up against the seawall there. Let's pray for that man because he's going to need it. Yeah, already going through it. Hope says asking for prayers for Patriot of Light on pilled.net. He lives in Central Florida in the path and Ackroyd videos in Sarasota and FOMO in Central Florida. Just add them to your prayer list, please.
Added.
Trust me, everybody's in Florida. Everybody in Florida is on our prayer list, not just the people that we know directly and indirectly. It's just Lieutenant Dan and certainly Patriot of Light. We praying for everybody out there. Sarasota looks like that's where the eye is going to end up hitting. It's
Yeah.
That's all we can do at this point. And that's another one of the things. We have no control.
Yeah.
We have no control. All we can do is pray.
Yeah.
And through prayer and petition.
Oh, goodness. You ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
American land under attack. Is Wyoming on fire because of lithium mines?
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody tell me why the entire state of Wyoming is on fire right now and nobody even knows this? Multiple counties have been affected with over 100,000 acres on fire with zero containment. Now you're asking yourself, what is going on with these natural disasters and smart cities and land grabs? You guys, I looked into this one. This is the biggest one yet. First, let's start with where the biggest fires are, starting with the Elk Fire with over 74,000 acres currently on fire. Elk is located in the Sheridan County, and the other counties on fire is the Telton County and the Fremont County with 58,000 acres combined with zero containment. This list shows all the fires that happened this year in Wyoming from the start date and containment date and what caused them. Some were caused by human activity and some, like this one, was caused by lightning, but I'll reserve judgment on that. But here's a weird thing about the last two. So the Telton County and the Fremont County actually merged together on October 5th, but started in August 16th. Now, it's not so much that the fires merge, that happens all the time, and these two counties are next to each other, but it's the timing. It's 2 months later, and you had multiple containments in between these fires. Now, you could say this is a land grab, with Wyoming being number 6 with the most land owned by the federal government with over 46%, but it's way more nefarious than that. Now, you remember that first county I showed you, Sheraton, with over 70,000 acres on fire? Yeah, they just found the biggest deposit of rare earth minerals worth $37 billion. Now, the question is, does the government own this land? It says here the Sheraton County, Wyoming is a governmental entity that operates under the jurisdiction of the state of Wyoming, but it is not owned by the U.S. government. Now, another question is, can the government take this land? It says the government can take private property during a disaster under the power of eminent domain, which allows for the acquisition of the property for public use provided that the owner is compensated. However, this typically occurs when the property is needed for emergency response efforts. Oh, like a fire caused by lightning? Got it. Oh, it doesn't stop there. So the company Wyoming Rare got $450 million from the feds for their Hollow Creek project because they found even more rare earth minerals on the other side of Wyoming. This is a tens of billions of dollars play because they said it's so big that it could be a world leader of how much minerals they have. You really have to ask yourself, how many coincidences have to line up before it's not a coincidence?
Thoughts?
Hey, Bethany Ann. So fires are something that they use all the time. Fires, floods, natural disasters in general. Natural disasters.
Yeah.
Air quotes. They are, it is a repeating pattern that we see. It's a way to get the wheels of government moving, and they always wheel their way in the benefit of those who already seem to have all of our natural resources, not theirs.
Yeah. And we just found out from our daughter they suspended all emergency services.
Yeah, they suspended. Let's see, that's north of St. Petersburg, Florida. So she's saying right now it's just windy and obviously I'm sure rainy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's on the east coast of Florida. And yeah, again, like I said, we'll get y'all
West
updates.
Coast of
Or west coast of Florida, not the east coast. Yeah, the west coast of Florida. So it's going to be moving through. Yeah, the natural disasters again. They utilize them to do grabs of something that they really want, something that they didn't have. Yeah, they just don't care. They don't care, and we don't care about them, and that's about to come to a head.
North of St. Petersburg.
North of St. Petersburg. Yeah, she's north and a little bit east. Her elevation is at 40 feet, so she should be clear of any storm surge plus excessive rain that's going to be coming along, as far as I can tell.
Crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Prayers.
You ready?
Yep.
Want to read that, please?
A volunteer in North Carolina says the only politician helping them is Mark Robinson.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Working nonstop for how many days? Since the hurricane hit. What is your best summary to tell America about what's happening here?
America, the only person that has been here for the state of North Carolina has been Mark Robinson. Everywhere else we turn, every organization, every organization is shutting us down. Everywhere we turn, they're putting chains on our supplies. They're stopping our pilots. This is all citizen done. None of this has come from any organization. FEMA has never shown their faces to us. We've got no funds. All of these pilots have been out here. We flew over 400 flights yesterday, and the pilots paid for the gas themselves. This is ridiculous. Mark is the only one that has stood beside the state of North Carolina.
Thoughts?
So, never seen FEMA. Mike, did you ever see FEMA? Not a surprise. Not a surprise based off all the reports that we've been seeing. That and the fact that some helicopter pilot didn't know what rotor wash was as they were flying over the staging areas for all of these kinds of supplies. Again, yet another story. It's up to us. But then again, they got all of their resources because of who? Us.
Yeah.
We just need to stop giving them our resources. They don't need our time resource. They don't need our money resource because they don't know how to utilize either one of them in a manner that doesn't benefit them first. And then maybe we might get considered later on in the future. This is not a simple, mission accomplishment first, troop welfare second kind of thing. Like that's a military mentality. Mission accomplishment, then troop welfare. In the military, that's necessary. That's how you get things done, like, hurricane relief efforts.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that FEMA should be considering. Yeah. It's not about them. It's about the mission. Then you're, as the employee of said people that you're supposed to be saving, comes second. That means you don't get to go home at night. Means that you got to spend all of your time taking care of these people who, really had no control over the situation that they're in. What a bunch of heartless clowns.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But the good thing is that the people with the real heart are standing up, and it's going to look very different on the back end of all of this.
Yeah.
That's what we keep focused on. Chachi says big government, is getting called out left and right, nonstop for all this BS. This has never happened so much consecutively in the past. Boy, ain't that the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Bill says it's time to throw off the chains of a tyrannical government. Yes, sir. And it's already happening. You see these videos of these people working these relief sites that they've created because the Red Cross isn't there, because FEMA ain't there, because none of those things are there. That's throwing off the chains. We don't need you anymore.
Exactly.
And if you show your stupid face over here, you're going to be told that, you know what? We don't need you. Go home. Tracy says that's why anybody that's taking anything to any of these states is giving it directly to the churches.
Yep.
There you go.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad. Thanks for joining.
You ready?
Yeah.
Got Peter Ducey.
All right.
Peter Ducey here, outside the West Wing of the White House, where this week, one of my questions about foreign aid versus hurricane relief was called misinformation. President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now, without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for
His
people in North
values,
Carolina who
his-
need it. That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir. What you do? Yes, yes,
Which
it's
part?
misinformation.
I've got the information right here. The vice president is posting on social media about $157 million in additional assistance to the people of Lebanon. President Biden is posting about how the Small Business Administration's disaster loan program is going to run out of funding if Congress does not come back. To a lot of people watching these briefings, a taxpayer dollar is a taxpayer dollar is a taxpayer dollar. That is not misinformation. That is a fact.
Thoughts?
Chachi pointed out the outfits on KJP. It's totally on purpose. Or somebody actually picks that outfit and says, yes,
Yeah.
that is today's.
Yeah, I know.
Hope says, I haven't seen them. Did see Army National Guard giving out MREs and bottled water. You can probably count on the National Guard because those are people who are your neighbors.
Yeah.
They're going to care. Yeah. But these nebulous government organizations with people that come from all over the place, so that way they can boondoggle in Hawaii after everybody's home burnt down, living on the high hog out there. Those are probably the same people that are out here making sure that the lithium mines go to BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. All of them.
Exactly.
All going to the East India Trading Company, folks.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
I got Preston.
Yeah. By the way, I love Ducey. He's
I
awesome.
know, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's calling her out. It doesn't matter.
I know.
President Trump has just announced that he is opening his Miami Doral Resort to over 300 linemen responding to Hurricane Milton. In addition to that, Governor DeSantis has secured over 40,000 linemen who are in the state of Florida on standby, ready to respond the moment that the storm passes over. Governor DeSantis has also mobilized the largest National Guard mobilization in Florida history in preparation for recovery following Milton. Meanwhile, it is Kamala Harris who is standing on the tarmac of Andrews Air Force Base playing politics, trying to downplay Governor DeSantis, turning her backs once again on the American people, while President Donald Trump and Governor DeSantis work relentlessly around the clock, putting every single American, despite what side of the aisle they may be on, first and foremost, as they always do. Now, while we all know that storms like this are not political, and these disasters most certainly are not defined by political party, what we do know is what true leadership looks like. And to me, and every other American, true leadership looks like those individuals who step up to the plate, put their differences aside, and come together for the American people, much like Governor DeSantis, President Donald Trump, and many other agencies around the country who have come together to support the state of Florida. So my fellow Floridians, while the next 24 to 36 hours are going to be incredibly tough, it's going to be hard to keep faith. It's going to be hard to remain brave. But I promise you, there is a mobilization unlike anything this country has ever seen that is standing right outside the walls of this hurricane, ready to respond to you and restore your lives and your livelihood the moment that the storm passes. And none of that would have been possible without the leadership of Governor DeSantis. Much love, God bless, continue to keep the faith even when the lights go out, because I promise you the sun will come out again and we will once again return back to being, in my biased opinion, the greatest state in this country.
Thoughts?
So I heard about this. About
Wendy, be safe. I'll be texting you later, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you for letting us know. Be safe out there. We'll be praying for you and everybody else in Florida too. All right, Preston, is he like the de facto press secretary for President Trump
Pretty
right
much.
now? Yeah, just not a surprise, right?
Right.
Okay, so the fact that he opened up his Miami Doral hotel for linemen because I mean there might be some power problems coming up here soon. How awesome is that? On his own dime, President Trump decides to open up one of his hotels so that way he can uh, make it so that way the human resources that are available are the human resources available to respond to these kinds of problems. And if I'm not mistaken, they're all a bunch of people from Florida. So he's doing really God's work. He's taking local people that are probably going to end up being displaced anyways, putting them in a good spot so that way they're prepared to get everything set up and working again once the hurricane's gone. These are the kinds of things that needed to happen out in the Carolinas, in Appalachia, where the last hurricane hit, right? But this is what's happening now. We understand Trump. We're all much more aware of the fact that the government is unworthy and incapable and just useless in doing their job. So it's up to us. President Trump is doing his part. Everybody's doing their part. Again, these are the small things that add up that show that it is changing. It's just they still think they have a say.
Exactly. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You want to read that?
They
please?
being the swamp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go. White dude from Michigan shows how easy it is to invade America with Kamila's CBP1 app.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
After watching that vice presidential debate last night, I was curious just how easy that CBP1 app was to use. So I downloaded it.
So once you create an account from the main page, you just have to choose if you're the smuggler or the smugglee. Then you just got to fill in basic info, first name, last name, all the basics. I don't know my gender yet. I'm still figuring that out. Now it's time to take a selfie, and passport or any identification is also optional. Then it asks you which state you're headed to. I said I didn't know the address. I didn't know the city. I just chose California, and then I added the first zip code that Google gave me for California. And that's it. I'm good to go. It does let you choose between like 8 different bridges to meet under. I chose the Eagle Pass Bridge to meet under. I just have to wait until noon, so a couple more hours to actually make my appointment.
Now I know what you're saying. That's not you. That's Carlos Mencia. Correct. I was just trying to show you how easy it was to register. I'm just a white dude from Michigan. This took me 5 minutes. Someone who really wants to get into this country, get temporary asylum with open-ended expiration dates, they'll just use their own picture. I said I have no documentation, I have no ID, no passport, no license. There is no way to cross-check who I say I am with who I really am. All they go off of is the picture that you submit.
Thoughts?
I mean, did we really expect the app to do anything at all in terms of vetting somebody coming across the country?
No.
No. It's an app. It's like it's like I'm trying to put a good one out there. It's like with the way that we have fought wars before we really got serious about fighting wars again, where we would just, throw some bombs over there, every now and then. It never got anything accomplished. It's just, kind of makes it look like you're doing something, but it never changes anything. And that's exactly what's going on. That app isn't there to help anybody for anything other than to make sure that people can just walk right through.
Exactly.
Now, he is supposed to go to a meeting. Who knows what's really going to happen at that meeting? But if nothing else, it highlights the absurdity of the kinds of things that they try to tell us about.
Exactly.
Mike says the same lineman that has worked their butts off here is heading to Florida. They've got to be exhausted. Yeah, but they're making some OT.
Yeah.
Man. Bethany brings over Chops. Hey, Chops, I heard a few minutes ago that Waffle House has a fully manned and operational storm center. The feds, not so much. Man, Waffle House don't care. Don't mess with Waffle House. They don't close Waffle Houses generally at all. And now it's like, yeah, well, if we're going to close a Waffle House, then we need an operations center.
Exactly.
But what better place to have an operations center than a Waffle House?
Yes.
You got good food and you got toilets because you're going to need it because
Exactly.
Waffle House.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Waffle House.
You ready?
Yep.
Go ahead and read that.
All right. Who had black voters dancing on street corners supporting Trump in their 2024 bingo cards?
Ready?
I think, yeah, all of us did.
Come on, y'all, I make the crowd rock. And I know the pump it out. I see they on my job. They want that bubble gum. Say the double hit twin. So I know that I'm a win. It's on once again. What's wrong once again? I feel my head back and I froze like a sin. Once I walk it out. 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 Now walk it out. Walk it out. Now walk it out. Walk it out. Now walk it out. Walk it out. Now walk it
But
we've been saying for how long that it's not a race thing?
It's not.
It's not. It hasn't been a race thing.
Because they know that Trump loves them too. Trump loves Americans.
Yeah. And you know, even Democrats are starting to figure it out.
I know. I know. I know. Exactly, Chachi.
Oh yeah. The amount of butthurt
I
salve.
gotta read this. Chachi says Dems are shedding massive tears these days.
Yes, they are. Oh, there's some massive butthurt going on.
Oh,
and yeah, butthurt salve futures are on the rise because it's like, but the news says,
Yeah.
yeah,
Trump's a racist.
yeah, that's what they say. But then we opened our eyes and we all saw that the television was telling us lies. We wish you would too.
Little Lunker says it's about good old fashioned red blooded Americans.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. There it is.
Right? Honk if you're not a commie. Love it, Heather. Love it.
That's great.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right.
Complaining can kill. A complaining attitude can change your house, right? If somebody's negative in the house and somebody else becomes negative, guess what? There's a bunch of negativity in your house. You can feel it change and shift in the atmosphere. Then you're no longer speaking by faith. You're just attacking each other, right? And it's so easy to do within our culture. Why? Because you wake up, you get on social media. What do you see? People are divided. People hate each other. People are complaining. You turn on the TV, you look at the news, people are divided, people hate each other, people are complaining. It's everywhere we look. But if we look towards the Word of God, we would have a new perception, a change of the way we see life.
Thoughts?
The way we see life, it changes all the time, right? But as we grow in our relationship with our Creator, it changes exponentially.
It really does. Yep.
We do have to grow our relationship, but that's also how we grow. And these challenges help our relationship grow with our Creator. But look at how much better everything's becoming ever since we, started as a nation coming together as the way He wants us to and under the banner of God. So many people have turned to God lately. That's just a joy in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Little Lunker says, faith, hope, and happiness are my choices.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen.
I don't allow drama in my house, says Mike.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
How about some Justin?
There we go. Yeah, let's use Justin.
Well, it's exposure time. Look what surfaced in Asheville, or rather what was buried beneath Asheville. I wonder what they're going to find in Florida. Come on, Jesus. Flip them tables.
Thoughts?
It's an interesting question. What is it that we're going to find about? What's the play that they're going to make? What natural resources are they trying to get their greedy little fingers all over in Florida now too? Now I know that this whole thing with MacDill Air Force Base, with Central Command, and with Special Operations Command there. Meanwhile, we have this whole Israeli-Iranian thing going on. I know that certainly plays a part of it. So we're going to keep our ear to the track with what's going on over there in the Middle East, but I know that there are things that they want to grab a hold of. And well, I guess we'll just see how it works. Disney World and NASA. Yeah, I guess they're going to need to rebuild, and then we, the taxpayers, are going to have to pay for it. That's an interesting play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Disney will.
We'll see.
We'll see. There's a lot behind. There's a lot of power behind Disney.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yeah.
How about some Tucker?
Tucker's always good.
The Trump campaign and Donald Trump himself at the presidential debate has accused Kamala Harris and Tim Walz of supporting infanticide, which is to say laws that allow doctors to kill children post-viability and allow them to stand by as babies born in botched abortions die. The media and the Democratic Party, same thing, have pushed back ferociously on this. Fact-checked it. You're a medical ethicist. This is right at the center of what you study for a living. Is that true?
It's absolutely true. And until this whole political thing got in the way, everyone knew it was true. I was doing my dissertation at Notre Dame on neonatal bioethics, and I rounded with neonatal teams in hospitals in the United States and Europe. And everyone knew that not only in the abortion context you're discussing, but in many other kinds of contexts, we would just simply choose not to treat certain children, especially if they were too disabled. And we would call it comfort care, we call it something else, but everyone knew exactly what was happening.
Thoughts?
We know what it is. It is infanticide, and they do. Isn't it funny how the swamp has always managed to change the conversation by changing the words and which words are allowed to use and which words we're not allowed to use? Is it good to speak more, genteel like? Yes, it is. But at the same time, you can't silence people. Well, actually, they do all the time. Silence people by saying what is and what is not allowed to be said. These are the things that are going to be changing. And if we were able to call it baby murder, which is what it is, then maybe we can have a real conversation. Yeah. But as long as they change the words that are allowed to be used, oh, I don't like that word. I don't care if you like that word or not, because that's what it is.
Exactly.
So, since you want to do baby murder, let's have that discussion.
Wendy says, FYI, wind has picked up a tiny bit above the trees. Light rain, nothing scary. Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you for letting us know. Aaron says, how can a person even call themselves human if they stand by while a baby gets murdered? Change that up there for you, Aaron. Great question. Don't know, but I'm sure it pays well.
Yeah, exactly. You
Here,
ready?
on this plane of existence. Yeah.
How about something funny? Ready?
Yeah.
Dear Diary, it is 3 a.m. The authorities have closed the door to the bedroom. I can only assume that they have forgotten about me and have left me here to die. As a last resort, I will stand post for the rest of the night and sing the song of my people in hopes that they rescue me.
We know that feeling.
Yeah, we know they can't close the door because they do start to sing the song of their people.
Yes, very much so.
Cats can be a real pain, but they sure are fun.
And cute.
Yeah, sure.
They're cute and you know it.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing.
Are you ready?
Sometimes they are.
They're cute all the time.
Sure. Except for when they're singing the song of their people at 3 o'clock in the morning.
See, Little Lunker says dogs too.
Dogs too. They sing the song of their people.
See? You ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
Safe and Effective, a short history by Dr. Eric Berg.
Ready?
Yes.
76 drugs that were considered safe and effective, but now are off the market because they found they were quite dangerous. Accutane, they took it off the market because they found it creates liver damage after 27 years. Cylert was on the market for 30 years. That was for ADHD or ADD. And then we have DES, diethylstilbestrol. This was used as a very powerful estrogen that was supposed to prevent miscarriages until they found it causes miscarriages 31 years later. And then you had thalidomide. I don't know how that got passed. That created all sorts of problems with babies coming out with flippers for arms and all sorts of issues. Hey, these things were backed by science. So the main question is, who is funding the study, which many times gives grants to universities. And then you have industry, which then also funds the universities. And then you have a few nonprofits that do research right here. And then we allow industry to pay certain individuals who sit on boards and committees that regulate a lot of the guidelines in our healthcare. And of course, not to mention the medical journals, which depend on industry money for their advertising. But I think the worst of the worst is that industry is allowed to cherry pick their data and not have to publish the studies that don't align with what they want to. Unfortunately, what we're missing in science is this thing called ethics.
That word that got cut off there was ethics.
Exactly. We do, Wendy.
You don't like that idea, Mike? Try giving a cat, try taking a bath with a cat. Sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, science. Who really believes everything that science says anymore? I know that there's great thinkers. Some of our greatest thinkers are scientists, and science is absolutely necessary. But science needs to not have the final say. And that's what's been happening for so long, because they have been getting money from us to use against us. So that way they can do their medical experiments on everybody against their will and not knowing the full ramifications of what they're doing. I think that kind of goes against some of the, oh God, what's that called? Oh, the Nuremberg Code. Yeah, I think I heard about that somewhere once upon a time. But anyways, I believe that having the science being held to account the way everybody else should be, especially when it's hazardous to everybody's health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more we, the people, need to have a say than the people who call themselves the most smartest people in the world.
Exactly.
Heather says, I love this doctor. Been following him for years. That's awesome.
Yep.
Brother Bill says, everything we, the public, just accepted as part of life was a lie. The evil bastards were running on us. Yeah. And that's, you know what? That's our fault, though. And we need to be pissed off at ourselves. Every time we get pissed off at these people for taking advantage of us, really is how much of it is our fault. We need to have our own personal accountability with this and say, you know what? We did just blindly accept what was given to us. Now, granted, it was from a place of they had the control of what the information was being said, but still at that same point in time, we all had that little voice inside of us saying, that just doesn't sound right.
Yep.
That's the difference now, though, is not only is just one or two people saying that's not right, there's millions and millions of people, and it's growing every single day, saying that's not right. At some point in time, it's going to sink into those who think that they have it all down on lock.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says, make gallows great again. I'm telling you, I prefer the gibbet. I think the gibbet is great. It's just the cage that's kind of up in the air and they hang out there.
I agree, little lunker. I think
months.
we are all learning.
We are all learning. And sadly, we had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the severity of the test will indicate the severity of the response in the future, and how willing people will be, or how willing people will be to accept anything moving forward that's contrary to what we already know.
Mm-hmm.
It will take a lot longer in the future to have somebody pull the wool over our eyes in the manners in which they have, because everybody's going to be on guard for all of these newfangled scientific experiments and advancements.
Right.
How advanced is it really, and at what cost?
Mm-hmm.
Bill says you can't blame people for not having a doctorate in medicine. No, I ain't blaming anybody for not having a doctorate in medicine. What I'm blaming us for is blindly believing that just because somebody went to school for 8 years, that they somehow have all of the knowledge of the human body, and that these strange chemicals that they don't even read the indications and warnings on. I say that those are going to be the things that we keep that vigilant eye out for. What's the warnings for this thing? What are the side effects? Oh, I don't know. Let's take a look. What do you mean you didn't look at it, doctor? You're going to give me something and you don't even know what it can do? Well, they said, they said. Well, let me say something.
Yeah.
Do your damn job, because that's why you make so much money, asshole. You make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year because you're supposed to be so smart. So why don't you use your smartness and make sure that you at least read through the pamphlet and find out that it's not even printed,
Yeah.
that it's just a blank sheet of paper. And then ask your conscience, would you take that? And if you would, I need you to explain in very clear and logical words as to why you would do something that they're not telling you everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go doc shopping while you figure that one out.
Yep.
Aaron says, I'm good with a gibbet. Crow's got to eat too.
Heather
Then there's that
says,
whole no cruel and unusual punishment
Heather
thing.
says, question authority.
Yes.
The experts.
Experts.
And then over on Pilled, Chop put up a picture of a gibbet and says, gibbet, reject modern, I can't even read that. Modernity, embrace tradition.
Oh, modernity.
Okay,
modernity,
there you go.
yeah.
And then Wendy says, okay, I'm very confused. Anyone with a flight tracker, go and look at how many planes in the air, in the Gulf, and over land where the storm is.
We know that we know that NOAA is flying. By the way, we have a friend who actually flies for NOAA.
Mm-hmm.
Known her since before she went into the military.
Yep.
Not everybody's bad in these organizations, and some of it really is to try to get good data to the people.
Exactly. You ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that?
It's covered up on the bottom. I think it's the same thing as the yellow one on the
Yes,
top.
the yellow.
Dr. Anthony Chaffee, how plant-based diets have been used for ideological control.
You ready?
Yeah.
The British Empire and things like that. They kept the people they're trying to subjugate off meat. When they went to India, they pulled them out of the forest. They stopped them being able to hunt. They put them on plantations to grow crops, and they paid them with grains and crops. This isn't a new tactic to keep people away from meat, to keep them subjugated and docile and just fat and lazy and not ready for a fight. You know, your hormones are screwed. I put people on a carnivore diet and their testosterone levels triple. You know, just imagine that happening to the population. You know, everyone's going to be like, you know, fuck this. You'd have a lot of people, you know, maybe, you know, thinking a lot differently. They're healthy, they're happy, they're vigorous, and they're invigorated. And they're just being like, yeah, this is bullshit. I'm going to do something about it. You know? And so I'm not saying that they're doing that. I'm just saying that that has been done. And I am saying that the pharmaceutical companies and the sugar companies are absolutely pumping this crap out in order to turn a profit. And so the vegans and vegetarians are getting completely taken in.
Thoughts?
I mean, testosterone's a thing. And the diet that we eat is extremely important. You are what you eat. And we have been finding that out to be very true. And it's proven right there. If you are on that vegan diet where you have absolutely no meat whatsoever, and you're just eating plant-based anything, they are very gentle people. They're not looking to roid rage all over everything.
Yeah.
You know, the hormones that they put in the beef probably isn't the best thing for us. But at the same time, if you're buying, you know, a half a, you know, side of beef or something, then at least you can talk to the rancher and find out what was put in it. Because there's a lot of ranchers who aren't putting all that crap in their livestock. I think it's important for us to have a very balanced diet of all of these things until otherwise told by, you know, our creator, right?
Yeah.
So that level of protein. We can't get that kind of protein from much of anything else. And we run off of that. And that's what builds our muscle. That's what gives us the energy and the strength to continue on. It makes us stronger. And like he said, it makes us less docile. Being so docile is what got us here to begin with. But it wasn't because of veganism. It was because of everything that they've been putting in our food. They've been messing with our hormones forever, and eating clean and getting, directly active in the purchase of your foodstuffs, i.e. going to the rancher to say, I want to have a beef, or you get with some friends and you go to rancher and we say, we want you to cut that up for us. We want to buy that. Then you actually know. And these are the things that we need to be more responsible for. It used to be that you could go to the butcher shop and then you say, I need this or that or the other thing. They wrap it up in a piece of paper, and you pay for it. They hand it to you. You walk over next door to the cheesemonger and you say, I need so much of whatever kind of cheese. Then you go to the bakery next door to that. Before you know it, you have a sandwich put together, and you'll put it all together by all of these stores where these people were subject matter experts in what they were doing. How nice would it be to go to a legitimate butcher's shop and see all of the meats there and be able to say, I want that, because you've been talking to this butcher for years and years and years, and you know that he cares about the same things you do because he's eating the exact same thing that you're eating. So he wants to take care of it. He knows how to cut the meat better. He knows how to make sure that the gristly parts or whatever aren't in the way, that they're good looking cuts of meats. I mean, there is an art to that craft of being a butcher. There is an art to it. And I would like to see someone who considers that to be their art and they put that kind of effort into it. And I think that those are the things that will make people want to eat more cleanly and healthily, because we'll all be looking out for each other in that kind of scenario. F. Glenn says, they're gay, don't sugarcoat it. You know what, man? It's what it is. Aaron says, plant estrogen will do that to you, Santino. Placate you. Also, the brain needs fats and cholesterol. Yes, you are 100% correct on that one. Chachi says, the Mongols, Golden Horde, strictly ate meat and dairy with very little grain, and their endurance was higher than the Han Chinese, that ate a lot of rice as rations. Yes, sir. You are correct.
I agree, Carol.
Oh, yeah. I'm not telling anybody they need to be vegetarian. I'm just saying,
No. They're not saying that.
Heather says it's dangerous to eliminate an entire food group. Balance is key. Isn't that funny? Where balance works everywhere else, but somehow balance doesn't work with the food pyramid?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Rambo.
Hey, Rambo. What's going on, man? We got peppercorn steak on the grill for supper. Sounds good, Mike.
Yeah.
Carol says, I have 8 roosters penned up right now for soup. Plants are trying to kill you. Whatever. Steph says, hey, everybody, I know I'm late. You're not late. You're right on time. Had dinner company tonight. It was your sister's birthday and fixed dinner and bought her cupcakes for her birthday. There you go.
That's amazing. Oh, and then there's
with all those candles.
There's weird stuff going on. Like there's normal flights over Wendy right now.
What?
Yeah.
Normal flights?
Yeah.
At what kind of altitude?
Exactly.
The food pyramid is an ever-changing lie. Yes,
exactly.
Sir.
You're not late, Rambo.
You're not late, man.
Right on time.
We're just grateful you showed up, dude. Thank you.
Exactly.
Let's see. Aaron says that's actually true. Plants make a lot of poison. Well, yes, they do. Everything's trying to kill us. It's Earth.
You ready?
Yeah.
You want to read that, please?
Yes. Flashback, 1995. Robert Fletcher tells Senate that the government has created weather tampering techniques. Oh, it's a lot older. Well, we showed the NOAA thing earlier.
I know, but this
Pre-NOAA.
is in Congress.
Yeah, I got you.
Or Senate, I mean. Ready?
Yeah.
I'd like to just get on to Mr. Fletcher. Another question on the in an interview with the Los Angeles Times on April 21st, you said that you told the Associated Press that the American government has created weather tampering techniques so that the New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans and to control the rest. Would you explain what you were trying to say?
Well, what I was trying to say is exactly what I said. There is weather control techniques We have a complete package on that, which I did not bring, but I certainly will see to it that it is brought in for the record. Number one, the entire patents on the equipment. Number two, Senator Claiborne Pell's complete statement and story of his own that not only does it exist, but that we even utilize it as far back as the Vietnam War. You might want to touch base
That's all
with
right,
Senator
but
Pell.
I just want to repeat before I
So-
turn to
so
questions.
yes, but we
you're
do
saying
have
the
all that
government-
information.
You're saying the government has created weather tampering techniques so that the quote new world order will be able to starve millions of Americans
worldwide,
and to control the rest.
Yes, sir. And that's my belief. As bizarre as that sounds, if somebody had told me that that equipment even existed 10 years ago, I would have thought they were nuts, sir. And at this point in time, we have all the documents to prove it. And if you think that 85 tornadoes takes place in the middle of our growing area by simultaneous accident, I'm sorry. With the equipment that's already set up internationally, and as bizarre as that is, it is proven and documented. We will supply you with those documents. As bizarre as that is, I would say that weather wars, and this is quoting actually Senator Claiborne Pell himself, that they are the greatest weapon ever created in the world, and that's the senator's own statement. So yes, I do stand on that.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thoughts?
All right. So it's not like this is something that our government hasn't known about. It's not like it's something that's not already in the congressional record. But people have been telling us. I'm sure he was painted as some kind of weird conspiracy theorist back in the day.
I'm sure.
Even though the information was already out there. We already know that they've been lying to us. We already know that they've been doing weather manipulation for 70 years. They just had the anniversary, 70 years.
Yep.
They were using old World War II bombers to drop dry ice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, hey, look, the information's been out there, folks. And people can say, oh, well, this is just new stuff. Oh, really? Check out this old C-SPAN video of the guy talking back then. Oh, check out what's on NOAA's website. It's getting more and more difficult for these people to be willfully ignorant. It's almost a sport because there's so much information out there to counter everything that is the narrative.
Oh, you did use the S word. Shame on you,
What?
Santino.
What did I do? I didn't say for me. I wasn't saying I was
You
sorry.
still used the word.
No, it doesn't matter. It's not that kind of Nazi grammar Nazi shit around here.
Uh-huh.
This is ridiculous.
Shame on you.
Whatever.
Hang your head in shame.
Whatever.
Are you ready?
It is Wednesday, right? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Whatever.
Are you ready?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Yeah, not a surprise. Whatever. It's Wednesday. I'm going to take advantage of it. I love you.
I remember someone once asked me, what's the difference between a good friend and a best friend? I said, a good friend knows all your stories, but a best friend helped you write them.
I'm leaving home for the coastline.
The difference between a good friend and a best friend. Best friend helps you write those stories. And I consider all you guys helping me write all these wonderful stories. We have so much fun here. It's amazing. I love our conversations. I love the fact that Aaron doesn't let any of those S words get by him, even when he does it. I love the fact that we are a family and we really, really enjoy each other's company. It's so much fun doing this show and hearing from you guys every single day. It just makes me happy. And just know that we are absolutely just thrilled that you guys show up every single day so that we can have these conversations. It means the world.
It's a lot of fun. We enjoy all of this time with y'all. I can assure each and every one of you that. Heather says it's a meeting of like souls. It's comforting. It's comforting to us too, Heather.
Yes.
It really is. It's chicken soup for the soul. Really, if you think about it, because we're sitting here making sure that we're staying focused on the good things that are happening. And people have been trying to do that for a long time. Look at Rambo. He does it in his own unique way by showing people the truth, by making sure that people have a reason to see, or the ability to see what's really going on that's been hidden underneath. Just scratch the surface and you can see the truth. And that's what this is all about. It's about that shared experience of recognizing that it's not going good. It hasn't been going right for a long time, and that we're in this together. It's about knowing that we're in this together. So yeah, we're kind of all experiencing the same thing at the same time. And that's what makes this thing a lot easier. It's great. It may not be all sunshine and unicorn farts and all that other crap, but what it is it's a overcoming adversity with the strength that all of us bring to each other. And even though the proximity isn't right next to, we're not all right next to each other. Some are closer than others. We're spread out across the entire nation, but it's that connection through the ether. It's our hearts. Our hearts are connecting to the greater everything. I guess I have no words for that. To the greater, I guess, hive heart. And we're able to connect to each other that way. And that gives each and every one of us hope that we didn't otherwise have.
Yes. Steph, I'm going to figure out.
We're going to figure out.
Still
want to do the ARC thing.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out. We're going to get together and we're going to have some amazing times and make amazing memories.
And plus the ARC experience might find its way down to Florida here soon anyways.
I know, right? Thank you, Heather.
Thank you. Damn, I need to change that too. I guess I'm not changing it now.
We weren't changing it. Stop it.
Soft bread. I missed something there. Part of the conversation. Anyways, thank you all for showing up here tonight. We've been kind of scattered tonight. We're going through the ringer in our own heads and hearts because our family is down there. Our friends are down in Florida. People that we've known for decades. Guys I went to Iraq with.
Yeah.
They're all down there. It's so many. And so, it's
keep Shauna in your prayers.
Yeah,
too.
Shauna too. Yeah, so many. Anyways, so yeah, make sure that you're taking care of your own mental health. Make sure you're, shoring yourself up in so many ways. Mike, congratulations on being able to take a hot shower tonight. I'm sure you're looking forward to it. Anyways, and the rest of you, thanks for showing up. We appreciate all of you joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. If you're on Facebook, there's like 5 choices. If they're letting the video play tonight.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever.
But we love each and every one of you, and you guys mean the world to us. Thank you so much for being our family.
Thank you very much. We love you all. Have a great night. Be safe, and God bless each and every one of you.